Namaste everyone. So it's been a while since we started with the class. I'm just facing a few problems with the video. Just give me a second. Okay, so it has been a while since we continued with the classes, and some circumstances were forced so that we could not do the classes. But anyways, it's a start again that we have made, and we have been covering the planets in different signs, okay, and we have covered till Jupiter. So this is about Venus in different signs, okay. So before we begin, let's start with the Shanti mantra from the Upanishads. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunakatu Sahaviryankara Vavahai Tejasvinadadhitamastu Ma Vidavishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. So Venus, of course, is a Jalagraha, and it exalts in Pisces, okay? But then it behaves differently in the other water signs of Cancer and Scorpio, okay? So if Venus goes into Mesha, it can make one the leader of an army, it can also make one, in a modern context, it can make one fight municipal elections, okay, or apply for councillors or governors, okay. And because Mesha is a Mars sign, so this can make people addicted to, if for males, it can make a male addicted to females who do not have a legalized relationship, okay. That means it can make one go to prostitutes, okay. And then if Venus is afflicted by Rahu or by Saturn, then such a person can suffer imprisonment because of women, okay. And these people are usually undependable because Mesha is a fire sign and Venus is a Jalagraha, and they are very keen to oppose others. There are people who have a problem with everything, okay. There are people who every day leave their house with the desire of being offended, okay. So that is Venus in Mesha, all right. And because Venus also represents the eyes, so these people are likely to suffer from night blindness, okay. Venus is the Karaka for the eyes. For those who don't know, Parashara calls Venus as Sulakshana, okay, the one with beautiful eyes. Then in Vrishabha, Vrishabha is the own sign of Venus, so it makes one blessed with a lot of female attention as well as children, okay. It can make one earn from agriculture as well as cattle rearing. It can make one fond of scents, the wines and the flowers, and it can also bestow good looks, okay, on the individual. Venus in the friendly sign of Mithuna, so it can make one well versed in scriptures because Venus is also representative of Sukracharya, the guru of the Asuras, okay. And then it can give one fame, but that fame can actually come because of a flirtatious nature, okay. And such a person can also have a career as a poet, okay, because Mithuna is a sign of writing, and as such a person can, if you extend this concept further, such a person can have a career that makes him or her earn from song and dance, okay. And it can also give one a very sensuous way of looking at things, a very sensuous outlook towards life, because Mithuna, it actually comes from the word Maithuna, okay. Maithuna means sexual copulation, and a planet like Venus going into Mithuna can make one very, very sensuous, even if the person is not attempting to be one, okay. If Venus goes into Karka, so this is a good sign, because this is a good placement if Venus is not afflicted, because it can make one abundant in terms of food, okay. It can also make one very learned, very soft natured, religiously inclined, and one having a very balanced judgment, okay. But then these are people, whenever Venus goes into Cancer, one common trait that I've observed is these people like to work behind the scenes, okay. They don't like to reveal themselves very much before the public, or regarding whatever they do. They like to keep themselves behind the scenes for some reason, okay. And Venus in Leo, so this is a great sign to be in for Venus if it is not in the, if it is not in the Dushthanas, because it gives a lot of purity of thought as well as actions. Okay. And it can also give you a lot of monetary gains from the feminine gender. And generally, this is a placement that brings comfort and wealthy, unless afflicted or unless located in the, Dushthanas. Then Venus in Virgo. So this makes one very rich, okay, but it can make one very opinionated too. All right. One is usually very clever in talking to the other gender, that means the opposite gender. And towards the later part of life, one can, one can end up or indulge in a lot of pilgrimage activities. Okay. And such a person usually will be very learned. Okay. Then Venus in I'm scared Venus in Aries, but with Jupiter 5th house. So that is going to be a saving grace. Of course, it's the other planets are going to change the predictions. Okay. Then comes Venus in Tula. So what happens? This person will usually, earn money through business. Okay. And the other thing is, I forgot this thing. Okay, yeah, Venus rules Vanija Karana. Okay, so that is the Karana for business, and these people will be very fond of flowers, very fond of good clothes, perfumes, and would have a lot of likeness towards foreign, visiting foreign places or foreign lands. Okay, and what happens is, although a lot of bad things have been said about Venus in Virgo, of course, Venus becomes debilitated in Virgo. Okay, but then you have to understand that this debilation happens in a friendly place. So even if it is debilitated, it is not going to be that destructive. Okay. However, we're speaking about Venus in Libra. So these people, there is a flip side to Venus in Libra. These people usually will lack firmness whenever it comes to handling difficult situations. Okay. Now Venus in the sign of Scorpio. So these people are usually very quarrelsome, excessive talkers, and they usually have problems with younger siblings. Okay. And they can, get diseases in private parts of the body all of a sudden. Okay. Just like Aries Venus, even Scorpio Venus can give rise to tendencies to visit prostitutes and gigolos. Okay, so that can cause diseases in private parts of the body. Okay, Venus in Sagittarius. So this is a good placement for Venus to be, because Sagittarius is the sign of Dharma. Okay, so such a person is usually given to virtuous deeds, liked by others, wealthy, learned, has a high rank in the society, can be obese and tall because of Jupiter's influence, of course. Okay, Venus in Capricorn. So this is a very karmic sign where you have to learn a lot of lessons from your relationships. Okay, and I've also seen Venus in Capricorn giving attraction to people of the opposite gender who will be much older to you in age. Okay, these people can also suffer from heart diseases, and usually they would want the wealth of others without working hard. Okay, Venus in Aquarius. So this can give an addiction towards the spouses of other people, especially the female spouse, and it can make one irreligious, adharmi. And Venus does not usually do good in Aquarius, and it can give rise to ugly looks as well. Okay, and the person would always have a worrisome appearance on his or her face. Then Venus in Pisces. This is the exaltation sign of Venus, because I've been explaining repeatedly in the Sri Suktam classes that the highest karma for Venus is giving. Okay, and Venus in Pisces makes a person very wealthy. It makes a person given to charities, favored by the government, and very soft spoken as well as learned in and skilled in various subjects. Okay. Then we have the aspects of Venus in different signs. Okay, any doubt till here? So Venus in Aries or Scorpio, that is Venus in the signs of Mars. If such a Venus is aspected by the sun, then such a person is usually favored by the ruler, but tormented by the spouse. Okay, will be having a scholarly outlook. Venus in Aries or Scorpio aspected by the moon. So such a person will be very fickle-minded, can suffer from incarceration, okay, and can be tormented by excessive sexual urge. All right. Then Venus in the sign of Mars. So this can Venus in the sign of Mars, Aries or Scorpio, and aspected by Mars itself. So although a planet aspecting its own sign is good, but then this placement or this combination can make one bereft of money and status, and can also make one have a very servile attitude. Okay. Venus in Aries or Scorpio aspected by Mercury. So this can make one cruel-hearted, wicked, shunned by relatives, and earning through illegitimate means. Venus in Mars or Venus in Aries or Scorpio and aspected by Jupiter. So it can make one good-looking, make one given to charities, have a pleasant spouse, and also have very pleasant mannerisms. Okay, so Venus in Venus in Aries or Scorpio aspected by Saturn. So this can make one very ugly, lazy, wanderer, and indolent. It can cause one to have a very indolent nature. Okay. Now Venus in the signs of Taurus and Libra. That means Venus in its own signs aspected by the sun. So this can bless one with a beautiful spouse, and such a person will associate with beautiful people belonging to the opposite gender. Okay, Venus in Taurus or Libra aspected by the moon. So such a person can be the child that the family can be proud of. Okay, such a person is also blessed with a lot of children, especially the male child. Okay, and it also imparts good looks. Okay, and if Venus is in Taurus, especially Taurus, and the moon is aspecting Venus, then such a person can associate with women who are easygoing, or who have, whose moral values are compromised. Okay, so Venus in Taurus or Libra aspected by Mars. So this can make one sensuous. Okay, but such a person can be easily subjugated in battle, and will be usually bereft of home and other comforts. Okay. Then comes Venus aspecting Mercury. Venus in Taurus or Libra aspected by Mercury. Okay, so this can make one learned, have good manners, sensuous, as well as famous. Okay, by the virtue of their sensuality. Okay, then comes Venus in Taurus or Libra aspected by Jupiter. So such a person can have their wishes fulfilled very easily, and they can usually obtain all objects of desire, like friends and women and children, vehicles and houses, and so on. Okay, Venus in Taurus or Libra aspected by Saturn. Such a person will be usually poor, wicked, sickly, and if such a person is a female, then such a female has a possibility of having a lot of extramarital affairs outside the marriage. Okay. Venus in Leo. I'll get back to towards the end. Okay. Again, Venus in Aquarius. Venus in Aquarius is, as I said, it's not usually good. Okay, because it indicates a lot of karmas in whenever Venus goes into a Saturnine sun. All right, Saturnine sign. Sorry. Venus in Leo. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you now only. Venus in Leo is a good combination because it gives wealth, especially through the female gender, and it can make one very creative. Okay, but then if this Venus is joined by other fiery planets in Leo, it can take away your sexual urges. Okay, so if you have this Venus in Leo joining a fiery planet, and the partner, because it takes away your sexual urges, the partner can talk about sexual dissatisfaction. The person may feel sexually dissatisfied. Okay, Mars Venus in Cancer in the 4th house. So this is good. Okay, Venus is getting Digbala. Of course, Mars is debilitated, so it'll depend on where the moon is placed. Okay, aspected by Ketu. So the nodes, they don't aspect in a way that we think they do. That aspect is very psychological. I'll come to that later on. Okay. Then we have Venus in Gemini or Virgo. And if that Venus is aspected by the sun, such a person will serve women, will be wise, rich, and enjoy a lot of wealth and comforts. Okay. If Venus in a Gemini or Virgo is aspected by the moon, such a person will have beautiful hair and eyes, youthful in looks and blessed with various comforts. Okay. Venus in the sign of Gemini or Virgo aspected by Mars. So such a person will be usually fortunate, sensuous, skillful in sexual acts, and can potentially waste a lot of money on women. Okay. Venus in Gemini or Virgo aspected by Mercury. So such a person will be learned, good looking, wealthy, leader of a group of people. Okay. So Venus in Gemini or Virgo aspected by Jupiter. So such a person will be very learned, an artist or a photographer blessed with many comforts. Okay. Again, Venus in the signs of Mithuna or Kanya aspected by Saturn. So such a person can suffer humiliation due to his words and speech. Such a person can feel very miserable and will be usually shunned or boycotted by a lot of people in general. Okay. So just give me a couple of minutes. I'm coming back after having some water. Okay. So next we have Venus in Cancer. All right. And what if Venus in Cancer is aspected by the sun? So such a person will be easily angered, okay, because the sun is heating up the waters of Cancer. Okay. But then the spouse will be wealthy, and there could be trouble by the opponents of the opposite gender. So this is a very interesting thing that has been put by Parashara. What it means is, if you are trying to woo a person, the same person would be wooed by a lot of others. Okay. So a lot of others would also be trying to woo the same person. Okay. So Parashara knew about this competition regarding boyfriend and girlfriend since since he wrote the BPHS. Anyways, so if Venus is in Cancer and is aspected by the moon, then you can blindly predict that such a person, if the 5th house or the 9th house is not afflicted, would have a daughter as the first child. Okay. And then followed by sons. Okay. It will not be only a daughter and then followed by daughters. The daughter would be the first child, followed by sons. Okay. And such a person would be very attached to the mother as well as to the mother-in-law. Okay. Venus in Cancer aspected by Mars. So such a person will be versed in the occult, in the various arts, will be wealthy. However, such a person can be troubled by women or, or girls, basically. Parashara says Kanya, Kumari. Okay. And usually these people are very favorable to their relatives. Okay. So the relatives of such a person can derive a lot of benefits from them. Okay. If Venus is in the sign of Cancer aspected by Mercury, then such a person will be learned, will have a rich spouse. Okay. And, can be a house husband as well if it is happening for a male. Okay. If Venus is in the sign of Cancer aspected by Jupiter, so this is a very good combination to have because Jupiter is aspecting its exaltation sign, and this can bless a person with a lot of wealth, a lot of male children. Okay. Male child. And will get a lot of favors from the government. Okay. If Venus is in Cancer and is aspected by Saturn, such a person will be easily overcome by women. That means women can easily have their way with this person. Okay. Will be poor, and bereft of comforts towards the later part of life. Okay. Now, if Venus is in Leo and that is that combination is aspected by the sun, then such a person will be jealous of of others' achievements, tormented by a sexual urge, as I spoke earlier, but can earn a lot of money with the help of women. That means if you have this combination and if you're looking to do a business, then try to have a female partner. Okay, it will help you to earn a lot of money. All right. If Venus is in Leo and is aspected by the moon, such a person will be inconsistent. That means will be fickle-minded and can suffer because of females. Okay, if Venus is in the sign of if Venus is in Leo and is aspected by Mars, okay, then such a person will find a lot of favors with the government. Will be famous, will be fond of the opposite gender, and will be wealthy. But then this person can, if Mars is afflicted, then this person can be addicted to the spouses of others. Okay, then Venus in Leo aspected by Mercury, so this person will be very greedy, will be in the habit of hoarding things. Okay, given to falsehood and also having excessive sexual urge. And I've seen people of this combination, they usually suffer from sexual problems. Okay, then Venus in the sign of Venus in Leo aspected by Jupiter, then such a person will have high status, blessed with several women and children, okay, and will be very rich according to Parashara. Venus in the sign of Leo aspected by Saturn, so this is a good combination to have because it will give you it will make you have very strong foundations, and building on those foundations you can actually earn a lot of money as you grow old. Okay, and we all know how Prophet Muhammad became rich by marrying a widow named Khadija. Okay, so this is a combination that can make you rich. You can be a young man, and then you all of a sudden you marry a rich lady who is a widow, and then that rich lady takes you to places. Okay, it could also be the reverse. You could be a young girl and then you marry an older person who has lost his first wife, and then that older person gives you a lot of comfort. Okay. Then comes Venus in the signs of Jupiter, that means in Sagittarius or in Pisces. Okay, so if such a combination is aspected by the sun, then such a person will be short-tempered, learned, wealthy, and can make long distance travel. That means in the modern context, it indicates visiting foreign countries. Okay, so you'll see people of this combination having a lot of countries to visit on their bucket list. Okay, then Venus in Sagittarius or Pisces aspected by the moon, so it gives a very high status. It gives one a very strong body and also blesses one with numerous physical comforts or physical pleasures. Okay, Venus in the signs of Sagittarius or Pisces aspected by Mars, so it can make one earn from real estate, from property. Okay, and these people can have a lot of uneasiness when females are around them. Okay, and these people are usually leaders by instinct. Okay, Venus in Sagittarius or Pisces aspected by Mercury, so such a person will enjoy ornaments, good dress, good food, and also good vehicles. Okay, Venus in Sagittarius or Pisces aspected by Jupiter, then this is a combination that gives a lot of wealth, numerous physical pleasures, as well as happiness from children. Okay, Venus in the signs of Jupiter aspected by Saturn, so such a person will be rich, indulgent in physical pleasures, but can suffer from sexual problems towards the later part of life. Okay, next comes Venus in the signs of Saturn. So Venus does not do very good in either Makara or Kumbha, but then if such a Venus is aspected by the sun, then it makes one have a consistent nature. Okay, makes one powerful, as well as makes one speak the truth under all circumstances. That can usually cause your downfall. Okay, because you need to be a bit diplomatic in the context of the modern world. Okay, then Venus aspected by Venus in Capricorn or Aquarius aspected by the moon, so such a person will be very valorous. Okay, powerful, beautiful, as well as wealthy. Okay, then Venus in Capricorn or Aquarius aspected by Mars, so such a person can exhaust himself or herself by physical labor and can suffer from penury towards the later part of life. Okay, Venus in Capricorn or Aquarius aspected by Mercury, it can get one into debts. Okay, and it can also make one have a very greedy and very hoarding sort of nature. But it is also a good combination for for flamboyant speech. Okay, very scholarly as well. Then Jupiter, Venus in Capricorn or Aquarius aspected by Jupiter. So these people will be well versed in the scriptures. Okay, they would associate with women of noble character and would be fond of fine clothes as well as perfumes and garlands. Okay, Venus in the signs of Capricorn or Aquarius aspected by Saturn. So such a person can have a dark complexion. Will have trouble from servants as well as from subordinates, can be deprived of physical comforts in early childhood, and usually they do well in business of shoes as well as other footwear. Okay, for example, branded shoes or branded footwear. Okay, so this was all about Venus. Okay, there are a few questions in the chat box that I would answer, but if you have any questions, you can write it down. Okay. Venus Mercury in 12,000 Virgo. So this is not good for sleep because it is going to deprive you of your sleep. Okay, so try to worship Narayan to rectify this. All right, because what happens is Venus Mercury into 12,000 Virgo, Venus is getting debilitated, Mercury is giving nature bhanga, Raja Yoga to Venus. But then what happens is this Mercury Dasha can be very problematic thereafter. Okay, I have Venus and Rahu and Capricorn in the 7th house. What houses would aspect there? So Venus would be looking at the 1st house. That means your ascendant. Okay, and then Rahu would be looking at your 11th house, the 1st house again, and again the 3rd house. Okay, so this can make you courageous, but that courage can be misplaced at times. Okay, and then Venus and Rahu, it's usually good because you know where to go in life. Okay, you will have a certain direction to life, but that can give a breakage in the marriage if Rahu is afflicted. Okay, 1/3 11th, yeah, that is correct. Twinkle J is correct. Venus in Cancer and Moon and Jupiter in Purva Ashada. I'll not go to the nakshatras directly. Okay, Venus in Kumbha, no marriage. No, that is not correct. Okay, no marriage has to be seen from multiple angles, not only in the Rashi chart. We are discussing combinations only in the Rashi chart, not in the Navamsha. Okay, so no marriage has to be seen from the Navamsha as well. Only then you can say it's no marriage. Okay. All right, then this was about Venus, and in the next class we'll be looking at Saturn. So we have been, we have almost spent 6 weeks in learning about the planets in different signs. Okay, and after Saturn, we will be looking at Nabhasa yogas. Okay, Nabhasa yogas are planetary configurations which give an overall view of a person's life pattern. Okay, and these yogas are very special because they are not dependent upon planetary lordships or conjunctions or aspects. All right, so you'll feel the influence of these yogas throughout your life. Okay, and these yogas, what I mean by this is that these yogas, they do not need any dashas to manifest your results, and Rahu and Ketu are not included in the formation of these yogas. Okay, so we'll discuss 4 major categories of the Nabhasa yogas, but that of course will come after we decipher Saturn's placement in the various signs as well as the aspects of the planets. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully, yeah, that's it from me in this class. We'll have the next class next week. And for those who don't know, we have already ended with the Sri Suktam theory part. Okay, I wanted to start with the practical part, but then this is a period of Saturn retrograde, which is my Lagna Lord. So I would be starting now. I'll be waiting for 128 more days before Saturn turns direct, and then I'll take a decision on what to do. Okay, but as always, the Jyotish Foundation classes will continue. We have almost covered, we have almost completed 1.5 years into this course, and we'll be going further because around 70% of the course will be done after we complete Saturn, and then we'll be looking at the advanced concepts as well. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. I'll see you soon next week on Sunday. Namaste. Om Gurave Namah.